thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're live now. I mean, I fixed the audio just now.
Oh, we're still live?
Oh, there
Yeah.
we go. We got
Hi,
it.
everybody.
We got it.
Okay. Hello.
Welcome, sir or madam.
This is going to get edited out in the audio version. But anyway, to those of you joining us in the stream, thank you for joining us tonight. It's episode 29 of That Fallout Show, Prepared for the Future. For those of you who don't know, and how could you not, I'm Rick McVick, and Shalene is with us tonight.
Hello.
We're just gonna do this
I was
again.
just going to wave, and then I remembered that this is an audio podcast.
It is. Well, I mean, you know. And then Vendor.
Well, I'm
Looking
going to
up-
wave anyway. Hi.
up
Hi
poised.
there. Hi. Hi. Hi
How
there.
are you, Vendor?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay.
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 Doing
Well,
all right, guys.
Hopefully everyone out there in digital spheres are doing well. For those of us live here tonight, it's a Friday night, which means it's the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm excited for the weekend. I work all week, so I'm excited for
Same.
the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm also excited for this show because I didn't write any of it, and I have no idea what's coming down the pipeline. So it's a surprise for me as much as it is for you all out there. But I do know that tonight we're going to have some news, some gameplay, I think a challenge, which I forgot
Did you
about.
do the challenge photos?
So maybe we don't have a challenge.
We don't have a challenge. And then, very perfectly timed, a segment on emergency preparedness.
Oh.
It's perfect,
I mean,
man.
Let's just say for the sake of that the emergency preparedness segment is very well prepared. So don't worry.
This show's going downhill.
I'm not sure it ever made it up the hill to begin with. Goodness.
We're still at the bottom.
We never made it off the launch platform. But before we get to all of that, we have some 5-star review shoutouts. Vendor, take it away.
Scrolling. From the US of A, Ludabagel. Thank you once again for a wonderful 5-star review shout out. They say "Just wonderful," which I assume is some sort of German accent. Panda Obsession says, "I found Fallout off the record years ago.
Whoa.
It was wonderful and entertaining. I loved every minute of it, and then it ended, and my wasteland
do not
adventure
say
went
that name.
silent." I'm reading. Shh.
But they abbreviated it.
Until now. Oh, well, I'm sorry. You can just edit that out after the fact. We're live. It happened. Deal with it. They say, "I don't know how I missed that Fallout show, but I found it, and it's equally wonderful. My days are now less monotonous and much more fun. Much love. Maybe 5 will come sooner than we think. I'd love a Pacific Northwest Fallout or Central Texas, Louisiana, perhaps." So thank you for those 5-star review shoutouts. If you want to leave us a 5-star review shoutout, all you got to do is go to Apple, wherever you find your Apple podcasts, and search We Just Love Games or That Fallout Show or GameSack Podcast, and you can leave us a review that way. We also have a couple new individuals coming into our Discord, our Chat After Dark, as we like to say, which has been pretty active this week. We've got some new channels as well. We've added The Outer Worlds, Borderlands, and we also have another new one. No, just those
I
two.
think that's it.
Which
I
are
was
pretty-
thinking earlier today about adding like an indie games channel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the stack keeps growing over there in the Discord. If you'd like to get onto the Discord, all you got to do is scroll right down below Rick there, and there's a link available. Or you can send us a message on social media. We'll get you a link. But we'd like to welcome Scurvy Nut Lemon Mixer.
Nice.
Welcome to the Discord. Also, Cannibal Kiwi TV. That just rolls off the tongue so nicely. And Biowolf. So welcome, friends, to the Discord. Make yourselves at home, pull up a chair, and enjoy all of the craziness and chaos that goes on in there.
I wonder if Cannibal Kiwi is a member of EAT.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Who knows? And I do want to
Must
say,
investigate.
for the record, that off the record comment was the first time we ever said the name fully on this show in 29 episodes.
Well, I mean,
Is
it's
it really?
think so.
Wow.
still your intellectual property. It's still out there.
I'm just saying.
We're going to get sued.
I'm surprised.
Please.
I'm surprised it took us this long.
Come at me, bro.
Don't. Careful what you wish for. But you know what I wish? I wish we had some news in our lives. We got some news.
If you like news, you're gonna love our next segment.
So what happened in the world of Fallout, Shalene?
Well, Rick, we do have a bit of news this time, and what's that? Breaking news? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bender's embarrassed.
Just roll with it.
Yeah. So
Did I miss something?
No.
I was trying to do a bit. I guess it was not a good bit.
Not a
bit. Not a bit.
Not a bit.
But anyways, I went ahead and sent a tweet to Jeff Gardner, who is the director of Fallout 76. And because I was curious about something that has been bothering a lot of us. I know it's one of the major issues around this game. You know, it's really one of the hard-hitting problems that we've all had with Fallout 76. You know how sometimes when you're walking through the forest and you just take damage for no reason?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
It still
so
happens.
strange.
And
Yes, it still happens.
did I stub my toe or something? What happened?
What is this? And I just asked him. I said, I have a silly question for you. You know, it's been bothering me ever since the beta. Is this a bug? Or is there some kind of canon reason behind this? Did I roll my ankle? Or as Archon would say, step on a Lego? And he replied within like 5 minutes. I
He
was
was just waiting by his phone for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really neat. He just said that he would like to say that it was something where if you have lower luck stats, you roll your ankle more often. But he said that's not the case. It's just a bug. Just a bug. And,
It's a bug biting you.
Yeah, just a bug. And they call it internally stubbing their toe.
Do they?
So, they do. They do.
I like that it's a bug bite.
I love that they call it stubbing their toe because that's exactly what we first called it when we were playing all together. Yeah. That's great.
I thought that was really interesting, and kudos to Jeff for being so personable and
That's
approachable.
really nice.
Yeah.
You should have followed it up with, come on our show.
You know what? I should have. I really should have. That was I think I'll have to send him a DM.
Well, send it while it's fresh.
Yes.
Speaking of stubbing your toe.
Yeah. I was going to send that request privately so that people wouldn't bother him in case he was not able or not interested.
Right.
So please don't do that. If he never comes on the show, don't bother him.
Yeah.
Yes. Inside the vault. That's where I would like to go right now. Inside the vault. And,
Head in the sand.
yes. Step right out of this really awkward conversation that is entirely my fault. But I'm going to go inside the vault to talk about some September updates. And on this Inside the Vault that was released yesterday, they shared an upcoming update on survival mode beta and some looks at some September content. I stopped reading the article and started reading the chat, and that was bad. I'm a professional. I shouldn't do that.
Are we now?
They've done some public event improvements in patch 13. We're skipping the patch 13 notes because that was weeks ago. And we've been, I'm reading this from the article. Bethesda has been reading our thoughts about the cooldown that many of these events share from the start of one event to the beginning of the next.
Yep.
And the shared timer was added to increase chance of success by focusing players on the active event and to hopefully aid with server performance. They can't eliminate this cooldown entirely, but they think that maybe they implemented this too conservatively. And they would like to make the wait a little shorter because they think they've made it a bit too long. So they're going to reduce that cooldown so that you can join public events more often, which is a very good thing. And they're planning some more extensive improvements for public events with a second phase of changes that are coming further down the road. There will be some changes to rewards and loot and also some additional adjustments to the cooldown. And they will have some more details to share in the future. And survival mode. This is a bit of a bigger news, in my opinion. And I'm going to read this straight up because I feel like the way they said this is important. Fallout 76 is built to constantly evolve, which is something we love as developers and players. This philosophy also applies to the survival mode beta, which we knew was directed toward those of you who prefer a more challenging way to experience Appalachia. Since it launched several months ago, we've received wonderful feedback that helped make the mode even stronger. Now, with Nuclear Winter offering its own unique competitive flavor and our biggest update yet on the horizon, we have decided to disable the survival mode beta on October the 1st. We're currently placing our focus on Wastelanders, but after it launches, we will revisit your feedback and make additional changes to the game to improve PvP in the core Fallout 76 experience in fun new ways. What does that mean for Adventure Mode or Nuclear Winter? Everything you know and love about these modes will not be affected by this adjustment. We appreciate all the thoughts you send our way and look forward to your continued support and feedback.
That's going to make a lot of people mad.
That's what I thought. It's
but
dangerous to remove a feature.
Yeah.
Even if it
I don't
isn't a
really.
bug.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't affect you because we don't play survival, but like Talon Company Raiders, pretty much all they do is play on survival mode.
But it was always a beta. So it was not meant to last forever.
I know, but usually
They
betas
were
roll
eventually going to
into-
stop it at one point to, well, I see what you mean. They would just roll it into the next phase
Yeah, they're not
instead of
like,
taking it down.
right. And a lot of people, put a lot of time into that survival thing. So I think this is going to
Hopefully
make...
they don't lose their data.
Well, I think they can move their character right back into adventure mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for guys who played it for the PvP aspect of it, it's...
And I
changes
feel like they're
everything.
suggesting that Nuclear Winter is a suitable option, but Nuclear Winter is an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
It's not the same at all.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
It is different.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I don't know. Another thing that is worth thinking about, and I believe it was Archon who said this in the chat, that the servers in survival mode were much more stable for the Vault raid, the Vault 94 raid, probably because of a lower population in those servers. So
And the
what's going to
lower
happen? Are they going
advantage
to add these servers to adventure mode? Will it make the game more stable? If it will, then that's a positive that comes out of it.
Sounds like Bethesda has a lot of cleaning up to do.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And thank you. I'm sorry. I couldn't click fast enough.
Fine. It's fine.
Bethesda does have a lot of cleaning up to do with the Clean Appalachia event that is going on right now. This began on September the 10th. Clean up the wasteland and unlock exclusive cosmetics, steep discounts at the purveyor, plus the return of Meat Week.
Oh.
And yes, they are doing Community Challenge number 1. This ends on September 23rd.
Okay.
And this challenge is to kill Scorch Beasts. And the first goal was to kill 100,000 collective Scorch Beasts to earn that first reward, which is the return of Meat Week for a short time, September 26th through the 30th. And this goal was met very, very soon. The second goal was met at 150,000 Scorch Beasts, and all players will receive a free Scorch Beast player icon. And the third reward, this one I'm a little more excited about, it was at 300,000, and it has been achieved. A curly bun hairstyle. It's very pretty, very, very pretty hair. So I'll definitely be wearing that. Not as Jim Justice, I believe. I don't think you can put the curly bun hairstyle on a gent.
Blasphemy.
So wait a minute. 300,000 Scorch Beasts?
Mm-hmm.
Like killing 300,000 Scorch Beasts.
300,000, man. 300,000. Dead.
Okay. I've killed like 3.
Well, it's all
Yeah, you just
together.
had
It's
an- you just-
collectively.
Times it by 100,000 more.
Oh, I see. As a
doof.
community. Well, I don't know. You never know. Bethesda is pretty unrealistic, especially when it comes to their shipping costs.
Now and again.
But I was kind of thinking 300,000. Wow, I don't know if I can do that.
I just did a shipping quote to ship a guitar to Canada, and it was like $130. crazy.
Yeah, well, it depends on what you're shipping.
Just a
that
guitar.
of course would
Not
cost
big-
a lot of
it's
money.
Not that big.
It's fragile.
Like 20 pounds.
Yeah. Well.
Not bad.
And the final goal is to take down 500,000 Scorch Beasts. We are approaching this goal. We are currently at 473.42 thousand Scorch Beasts.
Okay.
And if we achieve this final goal, we will have Meat Week back for a full week, September 26th through October the 3rd.
Was Meat Week that much of a hit?
I guess so. I would like Meat Week to come back.
Oh my
because
gosh.
I only had one chance to run Meat Week. So.
We're
I know,
all
me
just
too.
going to be like, walking around the wasteland with like gout.
All stopped up.
Oh, from all the meat. How fabulous.
Like
You
Yeah.
guys.
Mm.
You're so silly.
That's exciting,
But-
though. I enjoyed Meat
Yeah.
Week when we did it. That was fun.
It
Yeah,
was a
good
fun time. I
Mhm.
would like to try it again.
I'm
I
so-
feel like people love these. I feel like Foshnosh
Foshnosh.
was a bigger
When you say
event.
Foshnoshed, it's like you're saying it with like a halls in your mouth or something.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, I hope that we
Donuts.
can meet that goal. We probably will be able to meet that goal, I think.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we can meet the goal to bring Meat Wheat back, and
Smooth.
I think that we'll just let this simmer, leave that in the oven for a little while,
Yeah.
and
Fat. Move on.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, think of all the meat puns we can muster up.
But if you need something to do with the leftovers, you might try a nice furry friend.
Oh no, that's terrible.
What happened?
You're taking this a different direction than I meant it. I meant feed the leftovers to the dog, not eat the dog.
Okay.
Oh.
So guys, I know I try not to report on mods because they never come out, but this one's different. This one did come out. It is a good mod. It is a good mod that lets you pet good boys. This Fallout 4 mod lets you pet any dog. And this is based on a Kotaku article by Nathan Grayson. And in Fallout 4, there's only a single pettable dog, your own dog meat, and it only happens during a cutscene.
Yeah.
So, the Can You Pet the Dog Twitter account. Do you guys follow that? I love that
follow
Twitter
it through
account.
you.
It's so good. Yeah, because I'm always liking and
retweeting. Yeah.
retweeting. I love those.
Thank you, by the
I love
way.
that Twitter account. Yeah.
Yep.
I will bless your timelines with Can You Pet the Dog.
Passively absorbing the rest of Twitter through Shalene's account.
Absolutely.
Can You Pet the Dog Twitter account. They post whether or not you can pet the dog in a video game. That's it. That's their entire account. And it's very wholesome. It's the kind of content that I want on the internet.
Yeah.
And this inspired the Pet Any Dog mod created by Sagittarius22. It lets you pet any dog, any NPC dog, the mutated dogs, any
Three
kind of
dog.
dog. It's probably not 3 dog. He's not in this game, as you recall. You need the first rank of the animal friend perk, and you cannot pet your dog with nuclear arms or any kind of arms. But you have to have a fist or weapon out. And if you are wearing power armor, you can't pet the dog because you'd probably crush the dog. So, if you are in combat with a dog, you cannot pet it, which is unfortunate. But otherwise, pet those good doggos.
Is it
And I think
Is
this
it
is
like
very
Ace
fine mod.
Ventura when he tries to pet the thing and it's like attacking him or something?
Basically. And see in
It's
this-
not Snowflake. It's not Snowflake.
You can see in the photo it's one of these mongrels, one of those sort of more
Yeah.
unfortunate doggos of Fallout 4,
Unfortunate
and the
doggos.
guy's just petting him, and he's such a good boy, and he loves pets, and he deserves all the pets. I want a dog, guys.
It's not my fault I have 5 legs.
I wish I had a life that would be conducive to giving a home to a dog. But
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you recognize that you have a life that's not conducive to giving a home to a dog, because a lot of people take on an animal and then their dog sits at home all day with no attention.
What are you
And
trying
that's
to say,
horrible.
man?
And they don't get petted, and they don't get walked, and they just get ignored. So
Oh,
Hmm.
ours doesn't get ignored.
Yeah,
Ours
dogs.
just
no,
pees in the
I'm sure your
hallway.
dog gets a lot of attention.
Yeah,
Mhm.
dogs
With the
deserve
back
to
of
have
my
a good
hand.
home.
Yeah. That's
Actually-
why it's part of the reason why I follow Ricky Gervais on Twitter, because he's a really big like activist for animals and stuff, and he's always putting up cute pictures of dogs and things like that.
This morning, we woke up and I guess we took like 10 minutes too long or something to get the dogs downstairs. So our little dog like walked out in the hallway, like trot, 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 squat, pee. We're like, why? Like it,
Like right there in the hallway.
like right in the hallway in front of the bedroom. It's like, dude, like,
Oh,
just
is
because
he
we
getting
took
older
10
now?
I hope you
No.
don't have carpet.
We do have carpet, and no, she's not that
Oh.
old. Like she did it because we took too long, so she's like, fine, you gonna make me wait, pee in the hallway. But it was like 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
So we have spiteful dogs. Like if we scold them, oftentimes they'll do something bad, like
Right.
pee on our bed. So yeah, they're fun. They're fun.
Well, you probably deserved
fun
it.
dogs.
Probably did.
No, we
Yeah.
never deserved it.
I had a vengeful cat when I was a kid, and it was not vengeful to me because I loved the cat. You know, I was very good to the cat. But sometimes my brother would pick on the cat, or my dad would pick on the cat. And then the next morning, like they would find cat poo in their shoe or in the shower.
Nice.
And like 100% of the rest of the time, this cat was incredibly fastidious about using the litter box, being clean, covering up after herself. She didn't even kick the little kitty litter out of the litter box. You know, she was very fastidious
She
cat.
knew what she was doing.
But yes, if she was ever picked on, she would make them pay. Like
That's
my dad
awesome.
would be the first one in the shower, and he would step in the shower, and there, it's a little gift for him. So he deserved it. I loved that cat. She was the
Nice.
best, man. She had no fear.
Nice.
That's yeah. Cats are kind of jerks. I've had cats pretty much my whole life up until about 4 years ago. And I like to tell people that I've had a cold for 29 years. And like the moment I got rid of my cat, I no longer had allergies like on a daily basis. So yeah. Anyways,
I'd trade in my dogs for cats. Less maintenance.
yeah, I don't know. I if I were to have a dog, I would want somewhere between the size of a Jack Russell and a golden retriever. Between that,
That's
I
a
think,
big
would be-
difference.
That is a
well,
big range.
somewhere in between
Yeah.
there. I don't know.
A medium-sized dog.
Yeah.
I would like a little dog, but this is not that doggo show. This is
Right,
that Fallout
right.
show.
Oh right, we're doing a
Mm,
podcast.
right,
Forgot.
mm.
Sorry.
we
yes,
are.
Fallout,
We
Fallout.
are
Fallout.
Fallout. And speaking of Fallout, they've added some new utility items to the Atom Shop, and I think it's kind of gross. I don't like that they're doing this.
It's
I feel like
disgusting.
it could be a slippery slope. They have added, with recent Atomic Shop updates, they've added a refrigerator and a robot that collects junk that are both available as a premium purchase. 700 atoms for the fridge and 500 atoms for the scrap collecting robot. And that is the only way to obtain these items. It's not just a cosmetic skin for these items. That's the only way to obtain these items. And they are game-changing items. You know, the refrigerator preserves your food. The junk collecting robot collects junk for you. And I feel a little weird about it. They're not hugely game-changing items. You know, they're not pay to win for sure.
Mhm.
But it's a slippery slope. I feel like if we accept this kind of thing, we're opening up a dangerous path for this game. You know, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's
How
not-
so? How so?
Well, I think it's a slippery slope, Fender. I think that if we accept this kind of utility microtransaction, you know, I think that opens the door for
Pay to
even
win.
more predatory things, you
Mm,
know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Hmm.
You know, if
Yeah.
there's a chance to get it in game or something like that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Or a lesser version of it in game, like
Sure.
maybe a fridge that doesn't work quite as well that you could get in
A
game.
broken, rusty one.
Yes.
But is it a slippery slope if they're already on the slope? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they're already on the
yes.
slope.
Well, they were already on the slope, but now the slope is coated in butter.
The other side
There
of
are
that,
banana peels on the slope.
and well, the other side of that coin is I don't think we have a choice but to accept it. You really think that they're going to change their way if we few decide to not buy it?
Yes, but we few can talk about it on our Fallout podcast that
Yeah, they're
thousands
not
of
going to
people
change
listen
it,
to.
but I'm going to complain about it. Just like I do the shipping costs on Twitter
Yes.
on almost a
feel like
weekly
it's-
basis.
I feel pretty strongly about this, and I think it's important to mention it. Surely the Bethintern takes notes. You know, that's
Well, I
yeah.
mean, you guys know me. I've always felt a little bit uncomfortable with the prices in the Atom Shop.
Yeah.
The prices are high.
Yeah,
Prices are very high.
they are not right.
I have bought money, or I've spent money in the Atom Shop. There you go. I've spent money in the
Mhm.
Atom Shop, and I don't think I'm going to do it again unless they take away the utility stuff. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not spending money there if they're gonna just do pay to win stuff, even if it's pay to win light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I spent a bit, and I will likely spend a bit more in the future, but not on this kind of
You're
thing.
doing nothing at all to perpetuate your stance.
Well,
I'm going to support it, but I don't like it.
I won't be buying these. I will not be buying a
That doesn't
refrigerator.
matter to them.
But I may buy some future fruit hats, you know, depending on what they have. I'm sorry, all right.
And exactly that reason is why nothing is ever going to change.
Yeah. Well, like the rest of our society, these are the days of our lives, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know where you're going with that either.
Well,
The status quo. It's the status quo.
guys, I
status
think it's
is
important that we tell Bethesda that we don't like this if we don't like this. If you're fine with it,
But
then that's fine.
You know what? It's the same concept behind going to Area 51 and just like singing Kumbaya and sitting around a fire. It's
but
the same thing.
if you tell them you don't like something, but then like give them money to like
Yeah,
make
but I'm not
more
going to
of
buy
it.
the thing I don't like.
But it's a digital item. It's not the same as spending money on a product. It doesn't like.
But they can tell what I've spent the atoms on, right?
I know, but you're still spending the atoms. It's different if it's a physical thing. That's different. That's like.
But they
digital
can say
items
like,
are
hey,
another-
you know, we sold 4,000 of these fruit hats and 12 of the refrigerator. So which thing are we going to
But-
do more of in the future?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you have like a physical item, right? Like Fender makes 100 of these guitars and 100 of these guitars, and they sell 100 of, you know, someone's like, I hate these guitars, they're stupid, so I'm gonna buy these other ones. Like they're gonna run out of product and they have to make more, so that's gonna push them to spend money in a different area. Whereas a digital item is not the same investment in the product.
This
You
is
see what I'm saying?
potentially the stupidest argument
is.
that we've ever had.
It
This
is.
is
Well,
the dumbest thing we've ever thought about.
I think it's a little bit stupid that people are giving physical money to buy things that don't actually exist.
But that's video
Yeah, but
games.
isn't that all video games?
Well, I mean, but this is a little bit different, right? I mean, I
Not
guess you're
really.
paying for the experience of being able to put a fruit hat on your character.
Well, when you
but-
put it that way, it sounds ridiculous.
But that's what you're paying
Well,
for.
it is
That's-
ridiculous.
That's
It is
what it
ridiculous.
is.
But we like it.
I don't know. I've never spent money on something like that in a video game, and I don't really intend to ever start.
It's
but
weird to
that's where I
think
stand.
about that, isn't it, though? Like, you'll buy a video game, which is inherently fake. But then to, like, buy an item inside the game just for the game, that's the line you draw.
Well, the game is immersion, right? It
Yeah.
would be if I bought a book online to read on my computer, I would consider that the same, basically. You buy the files.
So,
But you wouldn't buy
but
the
if they
font.
added if you could buy a different font that you enjoyed more,
That's
for the-
essentially what it would be like.
No, definitely no. I would not do that.
I wouldn't
That's
do that either.
ludicrous.
It is.
I would just put up with it. Or I would like find some sort of hacked version of the font, right? This is what people do with mods. This is the great thing about mods.
Oh my gosh. This is absolutely the dumbest thing we've ever argued about in our entire lives.
I don't know.
I love it. This
It's
is so
just
good.
crazy. I still think it's crazy that we just, oh my God, I could buy a wand for $10 and be like Harry Potter.
If
Okay, let's do it.
if the stuff wasn't so expensive, I don't mind it.
Mhm.
I really think cosmetic stuff is fine if you're trying to buy a one-time only game. The DLC is free, the updates are free, all that stuff's free. But they're like, hey, to help us out, we're just gonna make some cosmetic stuff for you to buy. That's fine in my book. That's perfectly acceptable. But I just don't like it when it crosses over into utility.
You bring up a good point in that, like, it does support keeping the lights on.
It does. It really
Mhm.
does. And so I don't mind it. I do mind the prices being like $15 for a fruit hat. But and
I did
do
not pay
mind,
$15 for the fruit hat, for the record.
I'm
everyone.
probably over.
Well, I think what bothers me about it is that it seems a little bit lucrative and dishonest.
No, it totally is. I mean, that's the
And
direction they're going.
that's what makes me uncomfortable about it. Because for me, Fallout 76 as a game is a Bethesda product that I'm willing to purchase. But I feel like, making me have to spend money to get what I want to get in the game is kind of like exploiting me in a way.
Well, I think
Mhm.
up until this point,
So-
everything that was in the item shop was achievable in the game by a random drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the scrap kits were.
Well, no, not the scrap kits, not the utility items, but the cosmetic
Yeah.
stuff was achievable in the game.
No,
See, now that
I don't believe
have
that's true.
That I have an issue with. Even
Some
if
of it was,
super
but
rare, but
that
whatever.
was their original plan, I believe, but that didn't come to fruition. Also, I feel like I would hate this utility items being for sale a bit less if they hadn't made such a big deal out of, hey
Right.
guys, this is only cosmetic items. They made
Yep.
such a show of that. They were very
Yeah.
sanctimonious about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would have preferred for them to be like, hey, we're still working on the monetization method. We're
Yeah.
instead, that it feels like a betrayal. It feels like a betrayal that they made this very firm statement and then walked it back. And they're walking it further and further back. And
I mean, we could do a whole episode on microtransactions and corporate social responsibility
yeah.
for companies, but
And we probably should at some point.
Bethesda has a lot of updates to do apparently. So
Indeed.
mhm.
Speaking of that junk collector,
Indeed. Speaking of the junk collector and what did you say? Responsibility, corporate responsibility,
corporate social responsibility.
Corporate social responsibility. So this is a thing, you guys. This is another thing that is a bit problematic.
Uh-oh.
The junk collector robot, which costs 500 atoms, there is significant evidence showing that this was initially meant to be part of the base game.
How so?
Yeah.
data mining.
So this is based on an article by Christopher Livingston in PC Gamer. And Livingston says that this was intended to be a base game item. On Reddit, user Alfie Armadillo pointed out that you can spot the Collectron and the housing unit that he waddles back and forth to in the official camp trailer back in June of 2018 before launch. And here's a screenshot of it in the article that you can see. And yeah, that's a thing. And Space Leviathan posted some images from the mobile version of the Fallout 76 pre-made game guide, which was, of course, published at the game's launch. And this does not name the Collectron specifically, but it mentions a scavenging station with Protectron types that can forage for you. And there is a picture of this very same Collectron housing station. So yeah, it is shown in the pre-made game guide as a craftable game item, alongside mentions of resource extractors that can be placed at the camp, and those are something that's in the base game. So that's to me that's a bit of evidence that this was meant to be part of the base game, and maybe they kept it out to work on it for a while. It was a bit of cut content, but it feels a little shady that they've added it now as a paid item only.
Yeah, that seems a little bit shady.
Yeah.
I bet you they're kicking themselves saying, oh man, why did we make that decision at the start? But I wonder what else
Ridiculous.
they cut at the start. You know, what other items are people paying for that were originally, you know?
I don't want to know, honestly.
Shalene, how mad would you be if your fruit hat was supposed to be an original item?
A little mad. Yeah, a little mad.
Oh, wow. Well, do you guys have the collector? Do you guys have
I
it?
haven't played this game in
No.
months.
Yeah.
I haven't purchased any utility items.
Mm.
No, I refuse.
But you can buy it with atoms, can you not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
700 and 500 atoms for the fridge and the junk collector, respectively. Ah,
Mhm.
okay. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a little too much.
Well, there we are then.
Speaking of things that are expensive and we probably shouldn't spend our money on, I thought it might be fun to do a little Bethesda store update and talk about some of the fun new Fallout merch that's available.
Yeah,
I
this is a
recently
great
bought
idea.
a spiffy water bottle and
Did you?
and a journal. Let me pull out that journal. It's here in the
Oh.
desk.
That
It looks like a Pip-Boy.
is nice.
Yeah. It has this little
Oh,
magnetic
I like
flap.
that. That is very you.
Yeah.
It's very
And,
you.
I'll keep my to-do lists in there. It'll be
Of
very
course.
nice.
Yeah, that'll fill up in about a week.
Yes. I do go through those books. I really do. Really do. But I ordered that a water bottle and that journal, and the shipping cost was totally reasonable. I was so excited. Yeah, I freaked out. It was the first time in a really long time that I didn't pay like $20 for shipping.
Yeah,
really-
and for you, because you're in the US, right? So you think it would be...
Yeah, I honestly think that they're not sure that I'm in the US. I think they see New Mexico and they're like, oh.
Well,
get this
maybe the
international shipping.
Bethintern was listening when you said last time. Because I seem to recall you mentioning on the show, like, I'm in New Mexico, but they think that I'm not part of the US. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, that's cool.
I really want that Slocum's Joe metal
Isn't
mug.
Oh,
it
yeah.
gorgeous?
You could drink some Oak and Crow out of the Slocum's Joe.
I've ordered more
Nice.
Oak and Crow, by the way.
So this is a Slocum's Joe mug
Gosh, I want
featuring the logo and that signature font of the
Mhm.
Slocum's Joe.
Mhm.
It absolutely looks like an item from the game. It's gorgeous. I love
Mhm.
it. It's $20.
I love
There are some
mugs.
Nuka-Cola things, like a Nuka-Cola sweatsuit, some lounge pants, and a hoodie, and also a dog hoodie. That's
Aw,
a Nuka-Cola dog hoodie.
cute.
There are some Pip-Boy add-ons to make your Pip-Boy 2000 that you can build a bit more functionable. That's not a word. A bit more functional. There's a radio module, a light-up screen, that kind of thing. A Vault-Tec University lanyard is available for $10. A Vault-Tec University pennant is available. They're selling some perk cards. This one's $30 for a limited edition perk card, which seems a little high to me.
Mm-hmm.
They have these little mini Nuka-Cola bottles. They're like mystery minis. You can get any one of different designs, and those are $10. They're very cute. A Nuka-Cola Quantum Light, some display shelves, a Sugar Bombs t-shirt, and a Sugar Bombs cereal bowl. And I'm pretty tempted by this cereal bowl. I think it looks pretty fabulous. I like it's just Sugar Bombs logo. There's Sugar Bombs on it. Very cool.
Nice.
I want the bowl.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
I would have I don't know. I would probably just eat ramen out of it.
I just want mugs. Oh, I
And
missed the
when-
Nuka-Cola diner mug.
When I did order those items, they actually threw in a little keychain, a little sort of a bag charm. that was a
Hey!
bobblehead.
That reminds
cute.
me, on my last order of Fallout merch, where I got my little graduation bobblehead,
Mm-hmm.
They forgot to include the keychain. I was supposed to get a
Oh.
keychain.
Well, that's too bad.
Man,
Sorry
they
to
are
hear
really
that.
just going on the list, man.
Well, I got one and I hung it on my purse, and it
Hmm.
makes me happy. They also put out these little rubber duckies that are really, really cute. There's a little power armor wearing Brotherhood of Steel rubber ducky. There is a Nuka-Cola girl rubber ducky, a couple of Vault Boy rubber duckies. I never imagined wanting rubber duckies, but these are real cute.
there's a store in the mall in my city, and it's just all rubber ducks. The whole store.
That is so cute.
They just specialize in rubber ducks.
And Vendor, this is something you were excited about, the Jangles the Moon Monkey plush.
Yeah, I have been saying I want Jangles the Moon Monkey since playing Fallout 4. I want to
Mhm.
be able to buy that plushie. So
Well, you can
still
get
no robots,
you
but
can get
that's
your
okay.
own Jangles for $30 if you would like.
Yeah, that's
Jangles.
pretty reasonable. I thought, and he's like yay big, I think maybe.
Yeah,
So
it's very cute. This is the water bottle I bought. This Nuka-Cola stainless steel water bottle.
Nice.
Those are my favorite, man. I put iced tea in them, take them to work. Just really nice.
is it a Swell? Is it Swell brand?
I don't know.
Oh, I wonder.
I have no idea. They're very nice though.
It's probably just a metal water bottle that has their stuff on it.
Yeah, probably that. But they are very nice. I like them. There's this charm bracelet, which is pretty cool. I would totally buy that if it were sterling silver.
Yeah,
But it's not. And I have some pretty bad allergic reactions to jewelry that's not sterling
Oh.
silver, gold, or some kind
yeah.
of.
A lot of people do
Yeah.
actually, surprisingly.
I have scars from like bracelets that were marked silver and weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they leave like terrible sores. It's bad. It's really
Jeez.
bad. I really like this Surface Never Vault Forever
Me
little
too.
desk sign, but it's $45 and that seems so high for a small acrylic sign.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
unreasonable.
Yeah.
Where did
I
they come
thought
up
about
with this pricing?
I don't know.
Like, it's wild.
I totally thought about buying that to put on my desk at work, but it's
Right?
so expensive. I just
Yeah.
couldn't justify it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Lots of t-shirts. They've started selling an Adam Katz patch, much like the one that Ben Yannick made for us.
Mm-hmm.
They got a Tunnel
only
Snakes one?
they're not made with love, so I don't.
Oh, they do have a Tunnel
They have a
Snakes
Tunnel
one.
You have a
Snakes
Tunnel
patch.
Snakes one? Oh my gosh.
We
She's gonna
watched
buy
it.
it.
I'm shopping now.
Oh, they have
I love this mouse pad
Kings?
too. This please. There's a King's one.
There's
Are
a
you
King's
kidding me?
embroidery patch.
Where is that?
It's right next to Nendoroid.
Oh gosh, I'm shopping. I'm shopping now.
Add that one to the cart.
I'm definitely getting the Kings. I'm gonna put
Is there
that on a
anything I can
bag.
do while
Maybe.
Shalene shops? We just sit here
Yeah,
for a
the
while.
show, maybe.
Coasters, more mugs, some arts, hats. There's so much in here. These Nindroid figures are kind of weird. I don't like them. I don't like the Nindroid. It's
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, not a fan of that. There's a
So-
checkers set. I like that. Go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna kind of my wife recently got a 3D printer. And
Robots. All the robots.
She's printing me a multi-piece set of power armor.
Oh, cool.
Is it going to be like life sized where you can wear it?
No, because it's not that big of a printer, but it's gonna be like this big. But like the core and the legs take like 14 hours to print.
Wow.
It's large, so she's working on that.
Cool.
But
So
it's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
I really love these fig pins that they have. They're like enamel pins. I love them. I really want some of these. Maybe I'll grab one with my
Now,
order of a
when you're
King's
shopping on the show?
patch. Yes, right now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What do you think? Strength, intelligence, or endurance?
By the
well, I
way
mean,
the show's going, I'm gonna need endurance.
Go for intelligence, but
Mm,
I kind of
I
like
don't
the
know.
agility one. That's cute.
agility is
Fun.
cute. but
Strength
it's
is
not my
very
favorite.
Fun. Endurance just looks like he's dancing.
He does. It looks like he's doing the
He's doing a
Commander
little
Shepherd
jig.
dance. Yeah. I think I'll go with strength. We're gonna throw that in the cart as well. Add to cart.
I kind of like that
Um,
little shepherd dance, you know?
It's pretty
Yeah.
cute.
It's cute.
Pretty cute. Is there anything else that you guys especially want to feature?
Well, you can get the entire special Fig Pin series for $75. It's on sale right now.
I don't think I could.
So
No, I should
there's
not do
also a
that.
bunch of other on sale items: clothing, doggy clothes, Funko Pops, a coffee mug. The Vault 76 mug is now $9.
Ooh, I should check the sale things before I.
But I was going to recommend actually that guys don't buy full price bobbleheads. I specifically like to buy the bobbleheads from the Bethesda store, and I only ever buy them when they're on sale for like $5, and they do often go on sale for like $5. So, and then you can usually buy 3 or 4 of them. So, yeah, don't ever pay full price for the bobbleheads.
Very nice. These Steel Series mouse pads, those are nice mouse pads. They are very high quality mouse pads.
Yeah.
Ooh,
El Yankee's asking if there's a vault suit, and there is, isn't there?
There are some vault
Yes,
suits.
there is a Vault 76 onesie, which is on sale for $19, marked down from $76.
It looks
Kind
like
of
PJs.
bad.
It looks like bad PJs.
It's a onesie.
I kind of
Oh.
dig this short robe though.
He's got that at the backside, the
dress?
backside photo of this Vault 676.
Okay, I've got to have a look at this.
Me too.
It's-
Let's go.
Oh,
Forget
that's
the
like
show
that
for-
scene in Nacho Libre where he's like, clinch.
So I was
haven't seen it
perusing
yet.
through the store the other day, and I wonder if the people in these photos are like Bethesda employees.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
but yeah, it's interesting.
I think I might pick up this robe. $20 for a robe is
Okay.
not very much.
Well, maybe we could do that after the show
Nice little terry cloth robe.
because we still got to do the show.
These aren't
Gosh,
the only
that's
bargains
something
that
I'm
you
gonna
can
get
get,
that.
folks. No, siree. There's other bargains that you can get in the Atom Shop B. So, vendor, tell us what we can get. I was just trying to get us out of that as quick as we could.
Hold on to your butts, you guys. Which with patch 13, there's a lot of items and new sales coming in the Atomic Shop this week. Bethesda is hosting their biggest sale in Atomic Shop history, with a 30% discount on a ton of camp items that are waiting for you to snatch them up and add to your collection. There's also some new wallpapers, 2 free items, and a purchase. And you can purchase a number of items that will soon be leaving the shop as well. So to start off with, there's some free items. As part of the Project Clean Appalachia celebration, you can claim the mid-century disc lamps as an additional free item this week. So make sure you pick those up. They're really cool. And in case you missed it the first time around, you have another chance to unlock the Pioneer Scout poster for your camp for a limited time only. That's available until the 24th, and the lamps are available until September 23rd. There are some limited time offers as well. The cultists have returned from the shadows in anticipation of the Mothman Festival this week. You can join in the celebration of the mysterious cryptid with the Mountain Cultist Bundle, which is now available and includes a smoke machine. Smoke machine, you guys. I'm just gonna like buy a smoke machine and put it outside my base and like make it all spooky.
Smoke
That
'em
would
if
be
you got 'em.
fabulous.
Yeah. The scrap kit times 12 is 50% off, available until the 24th, as is the Mothman Power Armor Paint, Cultist Bundle, and the Down Home Dweller Bundle. There are also some item sales. These are available until 12 p.m. on Tuesday, September 24th. That includes, and the list is quite long, so I'm just going to blow through it. They're all 30% off. The Vault Tech Camp Bundle, Mothman Cultist Furniture Set, Fancy Bar Set, West Virginia Table Set, Golden Years Set, Metal Stairs, Deathclaw Skin Rug, Mr. Pebbles Lamp, Red Enamel Stove, Mothman Cultist Statue Set, Mini Deathclaw Statue, Mothman Cult Effigy, Vault Boy Cutout Set, American Flag, Sheep Squatch Plushie, Mr. Pebbles, Rabbit Plushie, Skull Totem Set, Light Bulb Letter Set, Clean Solid Billboard, West Virginia Billboard, Freedom Stars Neon Sign, Welcome Friends sign, as well as the High-Tech Stash Box, Nuka Shine Brewing Workbench, Vending Machine Paint Set, Corvega Small Generator, Corvega Industrial Water Purifier, and the Corvega Water Purifier. So, most important on that list, the billboards. You can get them 30% off. And then what can people do, Shalene?
they can make a billboard advertising that Fallout show or Game Stack podcast or even both.
Yeah,
and
if you
and
get the
leave
big
those
one.
up around the wasteland. Yes, please do that. We love them. Send us a picture on Twitter. That's become my favorite part of Twitter. Is we're still getting those in. You know, every week or so we get a new that Fallout show billboard, and I really enjoy that.
There are a number of items that are going to be leaving the Atomic Shop forever, and before they go, Bethesda has placed them on sale at discounted prices, so make sure that you check them out before the end date. The first sale ends September 18th for these 3 items: the potted succulents, the Stars and Stripes chair, and the American flag bed. Those are all 30% off. On September 19th, available till September 19th, is the Old Possum sign. Till September 20th, the Go Away neon sign set.
So all that stuff's already gone.
Is it gone?
Today's the 20th.
Dude, it's the 20th of September already.
Oh my God, where's my life?
I don't know.
Okay, so wait, today's the 20th. Right. School, man, it messes with you guys. Okay, so I'm sorry, that stuff is already gone. As of September 21st, the tiered succulents, that will be going. Mothman cultist torches, September 22nd. On the 23rd, the Mothman statue and poster. And on the 24th, the Vault Tech weapon workbench and armor workbench. But the new item that you can find for an overwhelming price of 500 atoms is the unicorn wallpaper, which to me, it doesn't
so pretty.
I mean, it's pretty, but it doesn't, like, the unicorns don't stand out.
To me, it looks a bit like Barbie's dream house wallpaper.
It does.
And I was really tempted to buy this when I booted up my Xbox character the other day. And then I remembered my camp doesn't have walls on Xbox.
Build walls?
Yeah. I don't have walls.
Why no walls?
There's no building. It's just it's like concrete foundations and then the necessary items, and that's it.
Oh, why?
Because I'm not a builder.
Oh.
I don't take the time to build. I would still be living that way on PC, except for the intervention of my lovely friends, Jess and Archon and you guys.
Who build your little stone place.
You've built me some lovely accommodations by the lake.
Our lovely little lake.
Yeah. So that's what's coming out of the Atomic Shop.
Cool. What's next, guys?
Gameplay, Rick?
Right. Yes. Let's
play
see
the sound effect.
The sound effect. No.
No.
Got it.
Whew.
That's the one.
I haven't played this game in months, so I just have been so disgusted with the state of it. Honestly.
I saw you playing some Fallout 4 though, didn't I?
Yeah, I was playing a little Fallout 4 because I was watching Inglourious Bastards, and I was like, I'm going to do a World War II mod thing again. So I was just running around shooting people with an M1 Garand and a Colt 1911, just having fun. But that was about it. What about you, Vendor?
I haven't played too much of Fallout 76. I did play about 10 or 20 minutes earlier this week or last week, I think it was. I did place a bit today just because I wanted to see what the new updates were like. There's a new mechanic now. When you sit down, you have to actually hold the button, which I thought is really, I think it's actually really nice because I do sit down by accident a lot.
I do that IRL.
And it gets a little bit annoying because the mechanic is so goddamn slow when you sit down.
The animation does take forever.
Yeah. So it's like getting in and out of a workbench. It just takes forever. So I did enjoy that. I think that the just kind of like moving around through the UI has gotten a little bit better. Seems a little bit quicker. I did travel to Vault 94 and I was lucky enough to be graced by the presence of Bit Trash Riot, who popped in and said hello. So we traveled over to Vault 94 and he started a new playthrough. He's role playing as like a zappy, robot-y, techie kind of laser guy. And so I gave him a gamma gun that I had, but then it was level 45, so he couldn't use it anyway.
Oh.
Something to look forward to.
But we made it to Vault 94, and we realized that there was a nuclear event going on in Vault 94. So we had to get our excavator power armor or our power armor on. And then I tried to log into the terminal to open the door, and the terminal wouldn't work. It was bugged. So
Go
yeah.
figure.
Which, I mean, it was kind of a good thing because it was like 20 minutes before we started the show tonight, and Shalene was waving her finger. So so it was probably a good reason that happened. But that's the extent of my gameplay. Shalene?
Well, I've been playing a ton of Fallout 76. I've been playing so much Fallout 76, you guys. I'm super into it again, which is nice. I've been really enjoying it. The new Atom Shop music is a little weird because I always pop into the Atom Shop to pick up whatever's free.
Mm-hmm.
And I just peruse. I like to peruse the Atom Shop. Consider buying pink wallpaper, like you do. But that new Atom Shop music throws me off. It's like a cycle of several different little tunes.
Yeah.
And I miss the classic Atom Shop music. I wish they hadn't made that change. Speaking of changes, the White Spring has been updated on the inside. Yes, like the airport was. They have a Coke fountain in the back now with a soda jerk, a robot that's a soda jerk. And there's some new art displays on the wall. And
is the robot really rude because he's a soda jerk?
I wish he was. I don't remember if he was or not, but you can purchase soda. I've been playing both Jim Justice, my PC character, and my Xbox lady, and it's been very lovely returning to both of these characters. I've played by myself. I've played a few rounds with Archon. I've had some good times, and one of the first things that I decided to do was pick up my Xbox character, which I've mostly played as a single player experience. I decided to pick up that character and finally sit down and make a That Fallout Show billboard. I love all of the listener-made billboards so much. I love them so much. And I thought, I really need to have one as well. And it's going to be really pretty. It's going to be great. My camp is located in this little crater near a highway. And I thought it's going to be so good. I'm going to put the sign right by the highway, and then my camp will be recessed back in the crater. It's so good. And so I went ahead and I had a bunch of atoms on that character. So I purchased the clean billboard, got that all set up. And I was looking for some appropriate lettering, and I had enough atoms to buy the light up letters, the ones with the light bulbs, the little Hollywood light bulb letters. Yes.
Love it.
I was so happy. And I got partway through, I wrote like, this is Shalene's camp. Listen to my podcasts. And then I ran out of glass.
It's a novel.
Yes. I ran out of glass before I could name the podcast. So I had to go on a little quest for glass. And I got some glass, brought it back. And while I was working on it, I got attacked by super mutants like 6 times. My camp is near a ski resort. And those super mutants have never bothered me before. But after I put up this billboard, I have to beat them off. They just, they
want to
keep
listen
coming.
to the show.
Yes, they just keep showing up now that I have this billboard and I have to kill them. And my camp never got attacked before, but now it draws them in. So it's working. It's working. But I got the glass and I'm like, okay. So I put in That Fallout Show. I'm like, yes, that's great. Now I'm going to put Game Stack. And then after that, I'm going to put Dames Who Game. And I was halfway through Game Stack when I ran out of camp budget for letters. They count those letters as lights, and you can only have so many lights. So I was so frustrated. So finally I took down all of it, and I just put the names of the podcasts just by themselves. And I now have a fancy billboard, and there we go.
Wow, you reached your camp budget?
Well, just on letters, not on everything. Just on letters.
That's interesting that they have. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have much in my camp besides that. I just have a few concrete foundations, a bed, some workbenches, a nice display cabinet for my finest hats. The necessaries.
Okay.
So, speaking of display for my hats, I've enjoying the displays. Had a lot of fun with that. They are limited in what you can display. I've got some of my favorite hats in the display case on my Xbox character. But you can't display every hat. You can't put a fruit hat in there. You can't put the postman hat in there.
Really? I would think that
yeah.
items that you've purchased.
Yes, those
Uh,
Atom Shop items are not displayable, and I was a
Huh.
little bothered by that. There's the magazine display, and I've been having to rearrange them every time I find a new magazine so that they can
Yeah.
be in alphabetical order, because of course that's how I roll. And the bobblehead display works just how I would like it to. It's great. So yeah, I have enjoyed the displays. The on my PC character, I have several weapon displays up with my named weapons in them, like the ski sword that you get from Rose and stuff like that. I have some of those in weapon cases. I enjoy that. I did find out why no one was ever buying anything from my vending machine.
What do you mean?
I had a vending machine that I set up
Mhm.
quite a while ago on my PC character, and no one ever bought anything from it. And I was like, man, this is so weird. I wonder why nobody ever buys anything from my vending machine. And then I realized it requires power.
Oh, wait a minute. I think mine has power. I don't know.
Yeah, they require power. So I plugged it in and immediately made some sales. So I've been putting the vending machines. Archon actually put together a sign for me on my PC character. So I have 2 billboards in each of my camps, and I've put the vending machine underneath the signs so that people see the sign.
Hey, that's smart. So what do the signs say?
Well, the signs say the podcast names.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, so people can come listen to the
Strategic.
shows. Yes,
Mhm.
advertising. Yes, we want to bring in the people. And that was pretty dumb. I got a backpack finally. You remember, Vendor, we started the quest to get a backpack ages ago. And I hadn't worked on it since then. You know, it was just what we had done. And I was playing with Archon one day, and he's like, well, have you done the backpack quest? I was like, no, I don't have a backpack. He's like, all right, let's get you a backpack. So he walks me through the steps to get the backpack. And I was really happy to get the backpack. And it was hard work, you know, mostly for Archon, as he stood there and drew the attention of all the ghouls so that I could shoot them in the back.
Yeah.
And get the archery achievement. It was terrible. Poor Archon. But I got the backpack. I was really excited about it. And then the very next day, they announced that they were putting in
the
a
atomic shop.
No, just you get one with one of the beginning quests at the Morgantown airport.
What?
You can get a backpack now. It's a smaller backpack. It doesn't hold as much stuff, but you can just get a backpack now.
So if I've already done the quest, I could just go back and redo it and get the backpack?
Yeah, you can just go there and
Okay.
open the overseer's chest and get a backpack.
Oh, I'm just gonna do that because that tadpole is just, it's like,
It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. I was like, are you serious, Bethesda?
It's kind of annoying. So I was looking at the backpacks that they have in the atomic shop, and some of them are really nice, but again, they're like 550 atoms.
Yeah, and it's just for
something.
skin for your backpack.
Just for skin for your backpack. Yeah, so it's too bad.
Yeah. But I've had some really great experiences, in particular on my Xbox character, who's a little bit lower level. I've been having a lot of fun. I was playing with Archon a couple of days ago, and I found a Gatling laser. And I went to town with this Gatling laser, and I feel invincible with this thing. It's so good. I just like, man, everything's on fire. Things are blowing up. I'm just mowing enemies down in multiples. It's glorious. It's glorious. I love it. And I love it so much that I'm thinking about turning that character into a heavy weapons build, which is something I've never done in any Fallout.
Well, you would really be living up to the name Jim Justice then.
Oh, no. I mean, on my Xbox lady, not on the PC yet.
Okay.
No, Jim Justice is fisticuffs. He is a pugilist, but indeed.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
That's great. Okay.
Quite enjoyed that.
What else did you do?
We did some carnival games. I forget what that location is called, but there's the carnival there. And there's a little event where the robot thinks you work there. He's like, "You're late again. I lied to the boss. Hurry, clock in, put on your uniform." So you clock in, you put on your uniform, which is a cute dress. And then you have to go calibrate the games. So you have to go and play all of the different games. It was really cute. Archon had done it 9,000 times, so he knew where everything was. I just kind of followed him around.
Yeah.
And then
Camden Park, he said.
Camden Park, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is the one where we ate the bad hot dogs.
Yes, those the moldy hot dogs, and then your character's sick. It's terrible. And after we finished that, Archon took me on a tour of the Morgantown rooftops, which I really enjoyed. There's a lot of neat lore up there that I never would have found because I don't really do a lot of jumping in Fallout, you know?
Yeah.
But you can go up on that monorail and there are all these different routes that you can take. And I never would have found any of this on my own. I just never would have.
You know, I just thought of something. Archon could charge like atoms for wasteland tours.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes. Wasteland tour guide, your wasteland tour guide, Archon. And, but yeah, I really appreciated him guiding me to some of these really neat things. And I also appreciated his patience because I fell off the roof a lot. You guys know this about me. I'm really bad at platforming in a 3D space.
Yeah.
Like very bad at that. So I would fall off the roof and Archon is looking down at me like, "Oh gosh." And
yeah.
I'm like, I was just looking at this box, you know, there was an explosive box down here. I wanted to check if there was anything.
I thought there was something in it.
And Archon comes down and like guides me back up to where we were. It's so embarrassing. But it was a nice little tour, nice little evening tour of the Morgantown rooftops. And there is some really special lore on those rooftops. So I definitely encourage everyone to spend some time exploring there because that was absolutely worth the time. Speaking of Archon, that guy is so darn patient, man. He might be like the most patient human being that I know. Helping me get this archery badge, also on the Xbox character. And he was not frustrated at all as I failed the written exam 400 times in a row. Yeah, and just standing there while ghouls hit him and I'm slowly lining up a shot with my crossbow. This guy, man. And yesterday we played together and I was picking fights with big things. My Xbox character's still fairly low level, guys. I'm still in my 20s somewhere. I think I'm creeping up on 30. But I'm still a fairly low level character and we would see like a level 54 legendary sheep squatch or whatever. And I had this Gatling laser and I'm used to being Jim Justice. Jim Justice is a bit of a tank, you know, he's very tough. I've raised his endurance quite a bit. He's got a lot of damage resistance. He's a tough guy. And I'm used to that. And I have this Gatling laser and I felt invincible, but mistakes were made. I will tell you yesterday, mistakes were made. I attacked a sentry bot.
Oh no.
That killed me over and over and over again. It was one-shotting me, missiles directly to the face, like directly to the face.
You're
and
like, oh, my makeup.
Yeah, Archon would come to revive me and he'd be like, "Are you already dead?" Like, and I'm like, "Yes, I'm sorry, I'm running back." There was this Yao Guai. It was like an albino Yao Guai, and Archon plays a little sneaky. He's always stealthing around, avoiding enemies and stuff.
Mm-hmm,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, I just like Leroy Jenkins into the pond with the Yao Guai, and I'm like, "I'm gonna attack this Yao Guai," and he's like, "I'm coming back."
Yeah. There's the Archon side. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like,
Honestly, I don't know why he tolerates my nonsense. And it culminated yesterday at the top of the world, right? He's doing the story quests there. I've already done those story quests. So Archon goes in, he's doing the story quest, he's talking to Rose, and I'm like, well, while he's doing that, I'm just going to kind of meander around outside the top of the world. I'm going to loot. You know, sometimes you get a little rad scorpion or something up here. I'll shoot that. And I shot a few small enemies, some ticks, a couple rad scorpions, you know, like you do. And then I saw this legendary sheep squatch. and he was a level 50 legendary sheep squatch. And I had my Gatling laser. I had a couple of fusion cores for it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I can take this guy. You know, it's gonna be fine. I can take this guy. And I lit into him. I just started shooting this sheep squatch.
Oh no.
And I hear Archin's voice, and he's like, "Is that you? All that shooting, is that you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was you." And so I run out of my fusion core. My character trades out the fusion core, and the next fusion core only has like 5% charge in it. And then the next one only had a couple of shots,
Mm-hmm.
and that was all the fusion cores. And the legendary sheep squatch had a tiny bit of its health gone, only for the first time. You know how the legendary things, you have to kill them twice.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. And I was like, "Archin, I need help."
Jeez.
And he comes out, he's like, "Oh gosh." And he's like, "What have you done?" You know, he's very polite. He didn't say that, but I can tell he's like, "Oh my gosh, what have you done?" And I had a bunch of grenades in my pocket. I had like 37 grenades. So I just started hurling grenades at the sheep squatch. And pretty soon I had 0 grenades. I had 0 fusion cores. I was basically throwing rocks at the sheep squatch. It was terrible. And honestly, if Archin hadn't come out, I don't think I would have survived that encounter. But
Yeah.
we took it down. I got a legendary golf club, and everything was fine. And it was a good time. And,
Oh,
and
it's
I'm
too bad you
glad.
can't transfer that to Jim
Yeah.
Justice.
Right. But I was glad to hang around with Archin. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. El Yankee in the chat says no death Tambo, and I think that's for your Jim Justice character.
Right. Jim Justice is the death Tambo guy.
Yeah.
On my Xbox character, which is named creatively Shalene, I know, very inventive, and she resembles in many facial features me. It's a strange coincidence. But I'm using weapons with her because I don't really use weapons with Jim Justice. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, try to branch out.
Branch out. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I got no segue. I'm not prepared.
I mean, Shalene has been awfully busy.
I know.
I think that's the most Fallout gameplay that you've reported on in the last little while.
Yeah, it was I've been having a tough time at work the last few weeks, and Fallout was just the thing I needed to.
Yeah, mind you, we've had some time between shows too, so
yeah,
that's right. It's been a month.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a real challenge.
Well, speaking of preparedness, we're not prepared to do the challenge, so we're gonna just on by that. And even coming out of the gameplay into the next segment, I wasn't prepared with the segue to get into emergency preparedness. So, Vendor, are you prepared to take on preparedness?
I am prepared for all of the emergency preparedness segment. Guys, we were trying to think about what we wanted to talk about, and amidst the missed opportunity to talk about alien lore in Fallout this week, we decided to go with emergency preparedness. And so, Rick and Shalene, this is obviously an open discussion, so just chime in whenever you want.
I wanted to say something real quick about UFOs. Did you guys see the Navy video?
Yes.
Did you guys see this?
Yes.
Vendor?
No.
So Dave Chafin's posted that in our Discord.
So
I'll have to take a look.
Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 left Blink-182 essentially to hunt for UFOs and aliens because he's a firm believer in them. And so he was, I think, responsible for leaking this footage or providing this footage of F-18 Hornet pilots capturing this object on their white-hot cameras that was like flying really fast against the wind, and as it's flying, it's just kind of rotating at some point. And like these Lieutenant F-18 pilots are like, "What is this thing? We have no clue. How is it rotating? What the heck?" And so he released this video, and everyone's like, "Dude, this is doctored. This is fake. It's not real." And then the United States Navy come out and said, "So that's real, and you're not you weren't supposed to see that." And that's kind of
Oh
where we're at.
my. Oh,
Mhm.
Dave, they are going to have such a good show around that.
Right.
So here's Tom DeLonge. He leaves Blink-182 to search for aliens. We're like, look at this idiot. Like, ooh, aliens are real, right? And then he puts out this video. We're like, oh yeah, look at this video footage. Woohoo! And the Navy's like, yeah, that's yeah, you weren't supposed to see that. That's real. And so we're all kind of like, maybe we're wrong about Tom DeLonge. Maybe there was always something in the back room, you know? So
Wow.
Maybe he was right. So yeah, I mean, it is for all intents and purposes a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. We don't know what it was, or at least they're not saying publicly that they know what it was. It could be like some sort of experimental thing, but it is kind of funny.
Yeah,
And then all
yeah,
of a
yeah.
sudden we're storming Area 51.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Anyway,
Well, I think there's, I'm curious. I feel like it's going to become like an annual sort of thing, like the Burning Man or like Coachella or something. People are just going to show up year after year now.
I was really worried that these people were actually going to rush the guards at Area 51 and get shot.
did they not rush?
I was genuinely worried about this, guys, because that's what I do with my life. I worry about things.
It's, you know what? I bet you somewhere out there is a graduate student, a sociologist or an anthropologist going, I'm going to write my thesis on this and it's going to be amazing. Yeah.
So, but in case of an actual alien invasion, what can we do to be prepared?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh,
is what everyone else is doing when it comes to emergency preparedness. Y'all are not ready. Y'all not ready for the end of the world. Okay, so how do we define what an apocalypse is, what the end of the world is? So the formal definition of what an apocalypse is a very serious event that results in great destruction or change. And an apocalypse can take on, or a natural disaster, emergency crisis or disaster can take on many different meanings. If the sun blows up, well, I don't think there's any amount of waterproof matches that are going to save you. Global preparedness. Also, there's regional and local emergency preparedness plans in place. That's where a lot of our governments have different plans for natural disasters, hurricanes, forest fires, that kind of thing. But what we want to talk about tonight is, should we start preparing for a global apocalypse? And we want to kind of talk a little bit about the current ideologies around it and present you guys with a comprehensive list of how you can prepare for the apocalypse. So I just want to start by posing the question to you guys. Do you think we should start preparing for an apocalypse?
Well, my mom would say yes. She's very worried about an apocalypse.
Is she?
Yes, she's always like, hey, we should buy some of these, like the little packets, the bucket of like 3 months worth of MREs and stuff. Like, she's always wanting to buy that stuff. She's like, you know what, we should get a wood burning stove, in case something happens. And I'm like, where are we gonna keep it, Mom? Like, where are we gonna put this?
Yeah.
We have no storage. My house is tiny. We have nowhere to store things.
Now, keep in mind, the distinction here is like, this is different than having an emergency kit in your car, right? Like, it's we're talking like, stockpiling of things. It's not the equivalent of having some candles and a box of matches for when the power goes out, sort of thing. But I think that we could have a certain level of preparedness. I don't know how intense I would want to go, because it actually is quite costly.
Yes.
But what do you think, Rick? Do you think that we should start preparing for an apocalypse?
I'm a hopeless optimist, so no.
Okay.
If I was a wealthy person, I would build a vault.
Okay.
I would absolutely build a vault and
I would live in it.
And I would just hang out there, if there was not an apocalypse. I would just have this safe space underground where no one could get me, because I don't like people.
And that already is happening. Some of the world's wealthiest people have underground bunkers and vaults and things. So it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility if you have the funds to do so.
Isn't it said that a great plan never survives
first contact?
Yeah. So
that's possibly true. Yeah.
So
yeah, all plans are wrong. Some are useful.
I plan to survive.
Well, here's what you need to survive. Costco now sells a wide variety of emergency gear, including really, really good survival kits. So in these survival kits, for $8,500 US, you can get high-calorie food bars, a hand crank flashlight, waterproof matches, a whistle, first aid kits, a pocket knife, a 1-year supply of food for a family of 4, and a bunch of other mix match items. So I don't know if I want to spend $8,500 on a Doomsday kit from Costco, but just think you can get 1% cash back if you have an executive card. So there's that.
Nice.
But
Nice.
if the world is ending, you probably won't get 1% cash back anyway, so it doesn't matter. But people are not ready for emergency preparedness. Just basic, like to be able to survive for 3 days. I was looking at some of the statistics from Canada. I wasn't able to find anything in the US, but it was something like just less than half of Canadians don't have don't have the required items they need for when the power goes out. And 21% don't have enough food to last them for 3 days if there is some sort of like catastrophic event.
Wow. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I live in a very remote rural area. This is something we've talked about before. I don't know if I've talked about this specifically on the podcast. I live 2 hours from a grocery store.
Yeah.
I work all the time. We go to the store like once a month. I can't imagine not having 3 days worth of food in the house.
Yeah.
That's
See, now
insane.
you should really be the one doing
Oh
this
yeah.
segment.
Like I'm gonna last. It's gonna be fine.
There's also been a lot of communities built around apocalypse. So we've seen a large spike in doomsday preppers, they call them. Sort of meeting up and getting together. There's a network called the Canadian Preppers Network blog, which receives more than 20,000 visitors each month to their blog. And the Center for Critical Study of Apocalyptic and Millenarian Movements, they call it CENSAM, actually held their first apocalyptic conference at the University of Bedfordshire in June of this year. And the aim of the conference was to facilitate critical and interdisciplinary discussion around apocalypse type subjects and different movements across time, place, and culture around the idea of doomsday. Isn't that crazy? I would love to go to that conference. I think that would be so much
fun.
right?
What if could we do that? Like, could you go? What if you could do like a live segment from the preppers conference?
We should look into that.
That would be amazing.
That would be pretty cool.
And you could interview some preppers, some real preppers.
Yeah. Here we are planning the show on the show.
I'm so for this.
But what does it really mean to be ready for an apocalypse? I mean, we've put together somewhat of a guide that we think might help you based on our extensive knowledge of the Fallout Wasteland. But in terms of basic preparedness, there are some necessities that you should have on hand, and experts recommend that you should have enough to last you for about 3 days. This includes storing extra food, having water, bottled water, flashlights, crank flashlights, radios, blankets, matches, a can opener, extra keys for the house, cash, important family documents like your ID, your passport, insurance, and banking information. And I would like to point out that a lot of this information is now electronic, and we don't actually even have paper copies of it. Does anybody have paper copies of their account information? I think I do. I don't know where it is.
I mean, I've got a check.
I have checks.
Yeah. So also I would like to add to this list a bottle of alcohol because you're probably going to need a 2.6 of whiskey or something. But prepping, like being able to prepare for disaster means being self-reliant. And because really at the end of it, services and amenities will not be available to you. And I think many of us are more or less capable of doing this. And for some who live in active climates, this is, just a way of life for them. And I think we should also acknowledge those victims of Hurricane Dorian who
Right.
recently are going through this very real situation.
Yeah, they're we're not just giving you tips for an actual apocalypse. These are things that you can use in emergency situations that
Yeah.
actually happen.
Yeah, and it goes back to the basics in education, right? So short-term survival is about making it through and being able to seek out and find assistance, whereas long-term survival is, and they term it wilderness living, is more dependent on the intimate knowledge of the land and being able to cooperate and coordinate with a group of people, but not just other people, also the wildlife. You have to be able to understand their behavior, and
The
'cause
animal
that's part of
friend perk.
your survival. Exactly. And for this to happen, not I just can't go out into the forest and expect to survive. That it just doesn't work like that. You have to have extensive training and knowledge, and this is oftentimes historically it was passed down through generations, but now you can take expert survival training. A lot of our military personnel and rescue teams like Red Cross and things like that, they do special training for survival. But the most important survival skill is just that: it's knowledge, it's educating ourselves. So that would be the first starting point, is to learn about how to survive, first of all. And for many of this might seem a little bit foreign, considering we don't know what to do when we don't have Wi-Fi. But if the unimaginable happens and you wake up from an EMP blast and all the grids have been completely knocked out, you have no power, no water, no assistance. Most of us are not prepared for that sort of thing. And that's because it's just unimaginable. We don't think that it will ever happen. But the reality of it is that it actually could really happen. So
Right.
anyways, there's a comprehensive list that we have that I'm just going to go through. It's a 54 item checklist, but I'm going to go through it quickly. Okay, so the first thing that they have, and this is by skilledsurvival.com. It's probably the best list I could find on survival gear. The top item they have is water filtration and purification. So they recommend a Sawyer mini water filter. This one is really good because you can drink really bad water. They actually claim that you can drink sewage filled and bacterial laden water.
Yeah.
So through and that, I mean, that will make you sick, right? So you need a water filter, of course. Streams nearby oftentimes will have pooling water and different bacterias that can make you really sick. So it's
I
important to
actually
have
have a really
water
great filter. I'm trying to remember what the name of it is, but it's like that. It's just some great filters, and it's
Mhm.
very simple, and it filters everything. You can put
Yeah.
pond water or any kind of water in there and drink it.
Yeah, so a filter is really good to have, but it's not very useful if you don't have a water bottle to fill. So they recommend that you also have a water bottle, and they bring up a good point here. It's good to have a metal water bottle with a single wall, because the double wall, the insulated ones, they actually, when you heat them up, they can actually explode. And so if you have a single wall water bottle, you can actually boil the water, if your filter breaks or something, or it stops working. The next thing they move on to is survival shelters. So they recommend a really good tarp, not just a basic tarp. You want to have a high quality, waterproof, rugged, rip-stop survival tarp that you can actually anchor at multiple points. This is really important for keeping you dry, keeping you out of the wind and any snow that you might encounter. If it gets colder, they recommend a cold weather tent. Now, these tents are specifically designed for cold weather. They're not they're not very light. So the average cold weather tent can weigh up to about 10 pounds, but it will keep you warm and alive through most of the conditions, especially during the night. So they recommend a cold weather tent as well as a survival hammock. These are really handy because they're light, they're easy to carry, and you can put them high up in trees so you're away from the ground and any potential predators. So and then they also have on this list attacked bivy, which I don't know what this is, but they they call it a bivy sack. Basically it's a it's like a, I don't know, it's like a specially manufactured material. They don't really give specifications of what it is. Oh, it's a blanket. It's a thermal blanket. That's what it is.
Well,
It's emergency blanket.
It's like a tenty thing. A bivouac is what they call
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever seen those shiny blankets for survival. That's basically what it is. And so yeah. So they recommend a bivy sack as well.
Just to interject, the water filter type that I have is called Berkey.
Berkey. Okay. So that's that for sort of infrastructure things. They also recommend some survival weapons as well, of course. If you're going to survive in the wilderness, self-defense is absolutely essential if you have to leave your primary place of residence.
For our audio
Is that the
folks,
knife?
Rick flipped open his pocket knife that we talked about a couple weeks ago, and then he pretended to lick it. It was just very funny.
The first thing that they recommend is a survival firearm. And this is pretty standard. Weight, ammo availability, accuracy, ruggedness, and are different variables that you should consider when thinking about a firearm. You're not going to want to obviously, carry something really heavy.
50 cal BMG.
Yeah, exactly, across the wasteland. They also recommend a boar snake. Have you guys heard of a boar snake? Do you know what a boar snake is?
Is that when you breed a boar with a snake?
That sounds like something we'll be fighting in the apocalypse.
It does.
So a boar snake is it's a pistol revolver boar cleaner.
So it's just gun cleaning kit.
Basically, but it's like a lightweight, easy one, I guess you could say. So it's basically like a string with
it's a pipe cleaner
attached to a more fancy string. So, but yeah, you got to keep your weapons in good order, right? Or
well, yeah, if you have guns, you've probably got a gun cleaning kit.
Yeah, but this is a lightweight thing that you can just carry in your pack, right? So, homemade weapons as well. They have on the list. So, they have a post on their website. We'll post it later, but they have a whole list of different things from homemade flamethrowers to stun guns and shivs. Like, I'm not going to get into that.
We're going to get in trouble if we teach the listeners how to make a flamethrower.
That's why we're not going into that.
We're going to end up on some kind of government list for this.
They also recommend survival bows and survival crossbows. These are particularly handy because they don't require any sophisticated sort of weaponry or maintenance, right? And they're also very quiet. So they also recommend a tactical pen. These are pens that are incredibly robust. You can break glass with the tips. You can basically write on anything in any condition. They also recommend a stun gun, which is very helpful in non-lethal circumstances, as well as pepper spray or mace.
I really need to pick up some pepper spray. I really do.
I'm just thinking of the pacifist who is trying to survive in the apocalypse.
Yeah. Are those, well, it's all the Canadians, right?
But like a pepper spray or a stun gun is not necessarily a pacifist move. It's a non-lethal move, but it's not necessarily a pacifist move.
True.
That stuff hurts.
Yeah. Rubber bullets, that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's it for weapons on the list that they have. Do you guys have any that you want to add yourself that you would carry in an apocalypse?
Pardon?
Is there anything you want to add to that list for weapons?
For weapons, let's see. I think a nice sturdy knife would be really important in the apocalypse.
Hey, how about that? They don't have knife on here.
Yeah, just like a nice like a Bowie knife would be the perfect thing to have in the apocalypse. Many uses. You could use it to field dress anything that you killed to eat, like something that you hunted to eat. You could use it as a means of self-defense against zombies.
Right.
Also, you could open the mail with it. Just lots of uses for a Bowie knife.
Yeah.
Rick, anything else?
A sailboat.
Okay, that's not a weapon,
And I
but
would
okay.
sail down to the Caribbean to live out the last days in style.
Right. Well, while you're on your sailboat, you're going to need some things to keep you warm, like a lighter, which is the next thing on the list. So they recommend that you have a good quality lighter, not your standard Bic lighter. You can get a high tech Tesla lighter. You know, those ones that fire the arc. Those are really good because you can light them in any condition, and they're also waterproof. Fire strikers are also really important, especially when you need to start a fire and you don't have a lighter or any sort of fuel source. They also recommend permanent matches. They call them permanent matches, but these are also, stormproof or waterproof matches. Those are very handy. Fire laces, which are pieces of gear that you can wear every day on your shoes. And basically, you can use the loop as a striker. With the end of the shoelace.
That's what I want to do.
So
I want
those
to
are
walk
really
around causing fires.
Yeah, so you just put your foot, into the fire pit and you just start a fire up. It's fine. Tinder, I'm not talking about the app. I'm talking about the box. That's the next thing on the list. They recommend that you get a Tinder box. This will help also in starting a fire where you have windy conditions, basically windproof. That's it for fire. They also have bladed survival tools. So, Shalene, as you were saying, they recommend a survival shovel. These are shovels that you can fold up. They're lightweight and they're pretty sturdy in case you need to dig yourself through snow or anything like that.
Dig yourself a grave.
Or a small, shallow grave. These are really important because sometimes you do need to dig your way out of a sticky situation, and a knife will not do that, nor will a tarp. So a survival knife is also very handy. Rick, I've seen that you have a rather fancy one there. These are really good. Fixed blade survival knives are really popular to own. And very handy to have, especially when you need to, cut some vines or
Some
whittle,
throats.
a sharp thing or etc.
Huge
Survival
list.
hatchets are very important in case you need to build yourself a hut or something like that, or split trees that have fallen, etc. Survival multi-tool, also very handy. And one of the more popular ones is the survival credit card tool, which I think actually a lot of people that I know carry them.
What about the survival machete?
Machete, yeah.
Is it your lucky machete?
Yeah, I
my
think
survival
really it's
machete.
contextual, right? It depends where you live, But all of these knives and sharp pointy objects are not very useful if you don't have a proper sharpener. And so they recommend that you also have a good blade sharpener that you can use to keep things sharp. They also recommend some rescue survival gear, such as a survival whistle or a signal mirror. These are things that you can use to signal people from far away. In terms of more or less rudimentary ways of communication, a survival radio is also very handy in times of emergencies, and they recommend that you get a hand crank radio because it doesn't require a power source. You just generate the power yourself. Walkie-talkies are very important, especially if you're in a group of people. But again, these are a little bit more difficult because you have to deal with batteries and things like that.
That's why you should always carry a nice powder compact. Then you have that mirror you can signal for help.
Right?
It's great.
Yeah.
And then you could look good for whoever's coming to rescue you.
Yes, and exactly. You look pretty when they get there.
Yeah.
Two
Speaking
birds,
of
one
lighting,
stone.
Yeah, speaking of lighting the way, you can also equip your bag with a tactical flashlight or survival lantern. These are very handy to have. The survival lanterns will often run on solar power. A survival headlamp is also very handy in case you need to go spelunking or anything like that. But what they don't have on this list that I think we should add to illumination gear for survival is a solar panel. I think solar panels are very handy to carry around because you can charge devices and lights and things like that. So
I purchased a collector's edition of Destiny 2 for $20 a few months ago because it came with this cool messenger bag.
Yeah.
And the messenger bag came with like this tube that has a solar panel in it.
Cool. So you can like charge your phone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Neat.
So it seems like to me that when they say like the survival lantern with solar power, which honestly most camping lanterns have that on the top anyway, I feel like there's this thing where it's like if you just put survival in front of it, it is now considered a survival item. Like this is a camping lantern, but it's now a survival camping lantern. Well, what makes it survival? You just put the name on it.
I think, yeah, you're right. In some instances, in starting their miscellaneous gear, they recommend a survival watch, but they actually don't, they give you a specific brand that they recommend. The Rangeman Master, the G
Rangeman
series
Master.
apparently, is one of the watches that they recommend, because it will provide information like temperature, altitude, direction, with a compass on it. Very handy. And I think those multi-purpose tools are very useful because it cuts down on the amount of stuff that you have to carry. You can also get
splicing tape.
Yes, you can also get certain types of stoves that are light to carry and run on small fuel sources that you can use to boil water and things like that. So they recommend that. Bandanas are very helpful if you need to cover your face or your neck, or if you have to tie a cut or a wound or something like that.
Or tie back your hair.
I think bandanas are a little bit underestimated in the survival gear realm because they're small, they're light, you can fit them anywhere. And
yeah. Honestly, where I live, a lot of the stuff you're describing is just normal stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah, like I grew up on a ranch, and we still wear bandanas. We use them for things.
Yeah. And they do add gas masks to the list. There are a few emergencies where a gas mask is absolutely priority number one. If you can't breathe, you'll definitely die in minutes. And if the air is deadly, you definitely will need a gas mask for that. These are situations more critical like nuclear fallout and things like that. But they also added snap traps and different animal traps, which may be helpful for catching small rodents like squirrels and things like that. As well as other gear for catching things like fishing poles and different tackle are very handy. Because you can basically eat by a stream and be able to make a meal out of that.
I have wall hangers / punji traps. Actually, this is more of like a punji inconvenience if you were only barefooted.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Jeez.
That's vicious.
Wait, aren't those for like posts for like when you're building a fence?
No. This is actually for audio sound panels. You put this on the wall, then take the sound panel, go and stick them on the spikes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like
that would
tiny
not
wee
be something you could
punji.
use.
Well, if you're at Rick's house, you can add that to your pack. Very handy. Because
Emergency
you need defense. You need to build defenses, right?
So I'll be able to take off my nail polish at Rick's house.
Emergency acetone. Shalene wants to change to red.
Bottle of alcohol. Isopropyl.
There you go. There you go.
Quick.
Rick is slowly building his survival kit while on air. But the next item that they have in the list is perimeter defense alarms. Now, say you're in a situation where you need to set up a camp or something like that. You want to get some shut-eye, but it would be almost impossible to do if you didn't have some sort of perimeter system. So in this case, devices that you can set on the ground with invisible wire, fishing wire, or something like that. Little bells or something that will trigger that alarm can be very helpful.
I have
tin cans on a string.
Cans on a string, bones on a chain. Yeah.
Nice.
6-inch guitar patch cables. Perfect.
Binoculars also very helpful, and especially since you need to see and find your way at a distance. This will also help as a defense strategy because it can dictate your path and which way you want to go. A spork is one that they've added onto the list. So portable utensils also handy. Chopsticks will only get you so far. Portable solar charger, which we mentioned already, was on the list. Survival saw. Now, this one was really cool. It's a handy piece of gear that they have. It's basically like a chain that you can put in a small pocket. It's very lightweight, but you can use it to cut through trees and branches and things like that. So they also recommend that you have a survival belt that will take some of the weight off of your back and allow you to carry and quickly access a lot of these smaller items. In addition to a water bottle, you need some way to drink your alcohol, and for that they recommend a cup that is expanding. You know those shrinkable cups?
Yeah, collapsible cup.
Collapsible cup. Yeah. Battery boost charger, although I don't know how that's probably more short term.
Well, they make those with solar panels on them. I have one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You also need your survival.
What is that? A highlighter?
It's a handy mag.
Oh.
So you demagnetize things with it. That's a survival tool, I'm sure.
Oh, don't put that by your wallet or your phone.
It's not plugged in.
Yeah. That's handy.
Weirdly,
if you're ever
it vibrates too.
If you ever need to James Bond your way into Area 51. They also recommend, if you don't have one of those fancy things, you could just use bolt cutters to cut through fences and things like that. Those are really handy. And you can actually get a little mini set that will just get that you can just stick right in your pocket. They also recommend some last items on the list. A slingshot. This is more handy for, as a defense weapon from small creatures and things like that.
We're talking about weapons. I have a lot of magnetic tape laying around the house, and you could use this like piano wire,
like a garrote.
Like you could choke a mother out, right?
Yeah.
This is like the red and green show of like survival tips.
You could probably build a snare with it too, a little snare trap.
You could use this to string along your perimeter and then hang the 6-inch guitar cable. See, musicians are survivalists. We've always known this. It's right. Well, all this gear is really great, but it doesn't do you one bit of good if you don't have a backpack to put that in. So they recommend that you get a good survivalist backpack, one with lots of pockets and hooks and things that you can hook to, and one that's really good for your back. Actually,
a couple
Molly
of last
backpack.
Yeah.
Molle, Molly. Yeah.
Level 3 PUBG backpack.
They sell the level 3 PUBG backpack now. You can buy one.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you could always buy them.
Really?
It was always a thing. I'm pretty sure the item in the game was designed from the existing backpack.
Oh, well, now
Yeah.
you can buy an official PUBG one.
Official
like from
PUBG.
Jinx.
Yeah. They also recommend a paracord, which is just an essential item. If you have to hang things up in a tree or, tie things up or, rappel down the side of a cliff or something, they're very useful. Compass, if you already don't have one on your watch. Poncho or some sort of
Why do we need him?
hooded thing to keep you dry, and a basic first aid kit. So this list was compiled from skilledsurvival.com. It is by no way a total and complete list. It's pretty extensive, and they do have some survival skill and self-defense things as well on there. I think you can take some courses and stuff, but I thought that was a pretty good source to kind of get the conversation flowing. But there are some 8 distinct areas for preparedness that you should consider, and we've listed a lot of those items that fall into these areas. The first is water, food, heat, shelter, communication, first aid, safety, and sanitation. Those are all of the things that you should consider when preparing. But that's our segment.
That was a great segment, Vendor. I really like that. Nice job.
So, whip that up over lunch today in about 20 minutes. But so
Do you do that
now
in
I'm going to
20
be like
minutes?
buying and building all the things, and totally preparing for the apocalypse. I'm actually totally unprepared. I have the first aid kit that BMW gave me when I bought my Mini, which I haven't opened. So there's that.
Yeah, I have a
It's
first aid kit in
acetone.
the car.
Yeah, but you live
Yeah.
like 30. You live like 30 hours from everything, Shalene.
Only two. Only
You need
two.
to like apply bandages and stuff so someone doesn't bleed out on the way to the hospital.
Yeah, like where I live, you actually like it's better not to call 911. It's better to just drive your loved one to the hospital.
Yeah, because the
'Cause-
ambulance bill
Yeah.
to get.
Well, no, it's not the bill, it's the time.
Yeah, they have to drive
Yeah.
there
The
and
time
back.
waiting
Yeah.
for the ambulance to get to you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I actually there was a time in my life where I was very, very, very paranoid about stuff. I was like into conspiracies, and I was just
No, really?
There was a time in your life.
I am. Anyway, so my wife at the not I was gonna say at the time. No, she was my wife, not my girlfriend at the time. But my wife sent me this real estate listing for this place in New York, upstate New York, and it was a house that was built on a former Cold War missile silo site.
Cool.
And so the bunker, like control room, was a bar room. Like the actual missile
that's so
silo was
cool.
flooded and cemented in, but you could still go down into the bunker through the bunker door. And then it had an airstrip with its own hangar in the middle of
That's
the woods.
amazing.
She's like, here, you could live here and get away from everything.
I
Yeah.
would love that.
Oh, it would be totally awesome. I just like having convenience of being near stuff.
I
Yeah.
think you should buy it, and it could be our We Just Love Games clubhouse.
Considering that she sent me that link about 9 years ago, it's probably sold by now.
Oh man. If any of you who are listening to the show, if you live in a bunker or you live in some sort of apocalypse style home, please send us photos
Or if you live
or tell us about it.
in a place that actually has a fallout shelter built under it, like Blast from the Past movie.
Yes.
Yes, we would love to see
Mhm.
your Fallout shelters.
So, yeah.
Every so often, you see one of those posts come across Reddit. Somebody who lives in Ukraine or something, and they just like bought
Yeah.
this house, and there's this old bunker or something. Yeah, super
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I found an old burn barrel buried in my yard. No teeth, so that was a good sign.
I remember you told me about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found a slave ball, an old steel stake like you'd tie something to, and a burn barrel in my yard. It's a fascinating yard I have.
That's
Yep.
concerning.
Well, I've
Yeah.
decided that I'm going to buy a metal detector because I'm really curious to see what else is buried around here.
Well, you should get one of those utility guys out to do like an X-ray of your yard.
Utility guys x-ray the yard where you live?
Well, because we call it call before you dig.
Oh yeah,
Well,
we
yeah.
do that too. But I
We
mean,
Yeah.
it's
have that too, but they don't have an x-ray.
no.
What they do is they pull out a map of where the lines are and
Oh
mark-
no, our guys, they come out with this fancy machinery. They got a big LCD screen, and you can see exactly where the lines
They
are.
do a sonar in the ground.
Are
Yeah.
you sure it's not just a map?
No, I've seen they've done it at my. Anyways,
We get
apparently we have better service providers.
that's yeah. So, Shalene, I see in the notes here, in Audible here, that Van Sylvan
Van Sylvan.
keeps talking about Outer Worlds. I haven't seen enough of the videos to do a proper reaction.
Really?
So the only thing, yes, because I like to stay away from the hype a little bit. I have seen enough to know that I'm gonna buy it, but I have seen enough to know that I'm still not sure if I'm gonna like it. Because so I haven't seen enough because wasn't there like an extended trailer that just launched not too long ago?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
haven't
nervous.
seen it either,
I don't
so-
want to be.
I think it
disappointed.
was part of what they showed at E3.
See, I didn't watch that either.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just can't. I
Well,
can't react to it.
It was
beyond.
exclusive at E3. Like,
Really?
yeah.
So,
I got to see it.
oh, did you? Nice. I haven't. Yeah. So I just don't have a reaction to it, other than what we already have talked about. So let's slate that for GameStack next week. Our little thoughts on because it's coming out next month.
Yes,
And I've
yes.
got to
So
finish
excited.
Borderlands 3 before that. So
Are you playing Borderlands?
you bet your sweet Bippy.
How's it going?
It's awesome.
Well, another thing we can talk about next week on GameStack.
Absolutely. I'm going to
Oh,
talk all
that's
about it.
right. We have a
Spoilers
whole
and all.
podcast for that.
I
Yeah.
know. So, but yeah. So that concludes our show. Do you guys have anything else to chat about? Is there going to be a Days of Our Life is Strange this Sunday?
I don't know. Is there? We
No,
can talk about this.
my weekend is totally booked.
All right.
Ah,
So
Yeah.
stay tuned in the Discord and on the Twitters in case anything else pops up for the weekend. But until then, you can tweet at us if you would like to. You can tweet at the show, at That Fallout Show. You can tweet at us at We Just Love Games. You can tweet at me at Rick McVick, because why would you not want to? And then you can tweet at Shalene L, and Vendertron at VendertronN. You can find us on Facebook as well at facebook.com/That Fallout Show and group/That Fallout Show. And just like our network, facebook.com/We Just Love Games or groups/We Just Love Games. You can email us, because we didn't have any tonight and we miss hearing from you guys. Email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/wejustlovegames. And you can find our show on Stitcher and iTunes as well. Leave us a review on iTunes. If you leave some text and some 5 stars, we will shout you out at the beginning of the show. We record live every other Friday at 6:30 Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. And check out our other show, Game Stack, which is going to be next week. Same time, same place. We also do Twitch streams when we can. It's been a little infrequent. We've been crazy busy. Shalene's doing things. Vendertron's doing some sort of crazy degree that I won't ever attempt to do. And I'm trying to start a business. It's cray over here. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Shalene, last word.
Please refrain from assault, murder, or trampling the flowers.